Hey everybody, it's Curtis back with a product review, and today I'm going over my Titan Fitness silencer pads. How to keep things organized, we're gonna go over construction, we're going to go over my training notes, and we're also gonna go over the price and of course some of the other options that are out there in the market. At the very end of my video, I'll give you guys my opinion on whether I think it's a solid home purchase for you, the garage gym owner. I like to describe everything to you guys first, so what I have here is a 30-inch length, 24-inch width, and a 6-inch thick silencer drop pad from Titan Fitness. These are sold in pairs from the website itself. Obviously, it's covered in a very bright red, and I promise you that that red is very noticeable. You can look in almost any video, and this bright red, very catching. Additionally, it has this Titan Fitness logo, which I've got to hand it to Titan on this one. They figured out a good way to print this material because I have abused, smacked, and tried to destroy these things ever since I got them about 3 months ago. And although the brand is showing some signs of wear right in the middle, it overall looks really good. So good job, Titan. Amazing branding there. Plus it just looks good. That red is very eye-catching. Basically, if you see a red pair of these somewhere on the internet, pretty solid chance that it's from Titan Fit. Not only is the branding super resilient, but the actual material itself is super resilient. And like I said, I have been abusing this thing for quite a while, trying to break it. And I really have been trying to break it, to include using it for things it's not designed to be used for. On the bottom of the pad, there is a zipper closure, and this is a super heavy duty YKK zipper. And when you unzip it, it exposes the 6-inch thick, and this is a single 6-inch thick piece of Rebond foam. Rebond foam is sometimes called chip foam. It is a super resilient, it's pretty hard, but it's actually pretty comfortable. This is a similar foam to what you might find used in restaurant booths or chairs, and with it being 6 inches thick, it is definitely resilient and bounces right back into shape as soon as the load is picked up off of it. The actual material to the pad is also a very thick PVC type material, and it has withstood my abuse. I will take the foam out all the way just to give you guys the inside look. I did not ever set this up upside down, so this panel here never actually took a hit. It was only ever the other side. So there's the Rebond foam, weighs about 20 pounds. And here is the bottom side of the Titan Fitness silencer pad. And what we can see is that basically there is little to no, there's actually no wear that's worked its way through this item itself. So as for the outside shell, super resilient, super hard, super thick. The stitching on the exterior has withstood the test of time. Everything is double stitched. And the zipper itself is triple stitched onto the PVC cover. Now for the Rebond foam, again, this is the inside of the pad. This is where most of the weight of the item is. It weighs about 20 pounds. And this pad, although it has taken some very severe beatings, has not actually shown any signs of memory or wear that I can find. The pad itself has stood up to the test of time, at least in my gym so far. Now I have seen other ones, so I think of like Clash on the Coast or one of the strongman competitions I did down in Kentucky, and those pads were a little bit worn down, but they were at commercial facilities, which would make sense that eventually those items are going to wear down. Now it does say that you're not supposed to use this for loads greater than 300 pounds, but I promptly did not listen to that and was dropping Atlas stones that weighed over 300 pounds, as well as logs that didn't weigh over 300 pounds, but there was definitely a lot of force coming straight down. Additionally, I used it for deadlifts. I only used it once for deadlifts because honestly, I didn't like the elevated pull. I was just testing out the noise reduction, which it did work really well, but loaded it to well over 300 pounds, abused it, it stood up to the test, and gets my thumbs up for sure. Now, because the pads are kind of big and cumbersome and they do weigh 20 pounds, they do come conveniently with this seatbelt style handle. It is made out of a 2-inch thick nylon webbing type material. It does have a nice set of stitching that goes all the way through. and secures nicely on the inside. It's not using a box stitch, but it is using kind of a Z-type stitch, and everything is double stitched in here. The handle itself doesn't really take that much of a load, nor does it take that much abuse, but it is very well installed, and I don't think it's something that people are just going to tear out without doing some sort of abuse to them. So that describes the actual construction and kind of the description of what you're getting when you purchase this pad. It does actually slip right back into the PVC vinyl cover very easily. So now that I've talked about the construction and kind of described what this item is, I want to move into my training notes. The first thing I want to talk about is the initial intent of making things quieter in the gym. Now, yes, these will reduce the noise associated mostly with overhead presses coming back down onto the mats. And that's what they're designed to really do. But what I was trying to use them for the most part, was as basically an object impact absorption tool of awesomeness. I did use it for a lot of overhead movements. I used it extensively for log clean and press coming right down. And I can tell you specifically about my wooden log, talking about the resiliency of the PVC coating. When I drop that from overhead, or when I bring it back down off my shoulders, those are hard enough that they make dents in UHMW plastic, and there is no signs of wear on this pad at all from the staples themselves, which is absolutely astonishing. I really thought that those staples would tear right through here. I also used it a lot with my steel log, my axle, and I used it a lot for barbell clean and jerks, especially when my schedule forced me to train a little bit later at night when my daughters were already asleep. And one of my daughter's bedrooms is basically right above my gym. I can tell you that when I use these doing clean and jerk, that my daughters never notice. So they do actually work, because if I were to drop them from overhead straight onto the platform, any of those objects, we would have a lot of noise associated with that. So for the noise reduction piece, I got to give this thing 2 thumbs up. It does work as designed. However, please keep in mind, you are still dropping weight from overhead, so there will still be some noise. So enough about noise reduction. What I want to talk about is how well it catches strongman implements. And for that, again, I got to give this thing like a single thumbs up. It would have 2 thumbs up, and we'll talk about it with Circus Dumbbell. Now, this is a single 6-inch piece of Rebond foam. And with that Rebond foam, it is very resilient and very bouncy, so it comes back very quickly into shape. Now, for most strongman things, that's not a really big deal, but there's a couple things that it is a big deal for. For instance, with Circus Dumbbell. When I crash a Circus Dumbbell down from overhead or from my shoulder onto this mat, I do have to make sure that I catch the dumbbell on the bounce so that it doesn't bounce back into me. It's not consistent, and sometimes with the dumbbell, if it hits just right, it will actually go away from you, which is also a little bit of a problem, especially if anybody or anything is directly in front of where you were lifting, like a judge. I don't necessarily think that Titan should do anything to change this, because these aren't designed to catch strongman implements, but it would be nice to maybe have a company that considers making a strongman version that has maybe a small layer of foam at the top that can actually absorb the impact from a Circus Dumbbell. Now, AbMat does make log crash cushions, and I do intend on eventually getting those to test on this channel. And those are made with the correct foam to actually absorb. And perhaps those will work well for Circus Dumbbells as well. But until I can get those, this is what I use. Now for stones, these things are absolutely amazing. Not only do they absorb the impact of the stone as it comes back off the platform or comes off of your shoulder, but it also has this handle. So if you load it up onto a platform, you can quickly grab it, throw it underneath the stone, drag it back off the platform, pull the stone off of the foam, and then pull this pad right back out of the way. Zero complaints on it. Plus it has stood up to a 335 stone, and it's just fine. If you're doing an axle clean and press, one of the unique things that these offer is a 6-inch raise in pick height. So these are almost like a super low profile. It's not a jerk block, but it does raise the axle up a little bit. Oftentimes during competition, an axle will not be with a standard weight plate. It'll be with some sort of larger diameter object to make it look super cool, because strongman is super cool. And these are really cool because it raises the barbell up just that little bit extra, so that during training, if you don't have access to a wagon wheel or some sort of larger overhead implement that would be put on the side of an axle, these can work really well as a substitute. Additionally, when the bar comes back down, whether you spike it from the whether you spike it from overhead or if you just drop it from your shoulders, this thing does a really good job of absorbing the impact of that. If you don't have a platform in your garage, these could be a huge benefit, especially if you're lifting heavy and don't have the money to necessarily spend on a full-size platform when lumber prices are through the roof. The last thing I wanted to go over was price and then some comparable items. So we've talked about construction. I've got you guys all my training notes. The total price on the Titan Fitness ones as of this date, which we are just ending all the Black Friday sales in 2021, is $199. That is typically what this item goes for. Now, I will say that Titan, of course, has free shipping, which is really cool because these are very large items. They still ship for free. Additionally, they go on sale not all the time, but fairly often. During Black Friday this year, you actually could have gotten them for $139 a pair, which is absolutely insane when you consider all of the other items on the market. The first one that I want to talk about, of course, is AbMat. Now, AbMat is kind of king in the foam world. They make the best foam products. They make the Preacher Pad, which is an awesome tool that I reviewed. You can watch the video up here. They also make those log crash cushions, but they also make silencer pads just like these. AbMat silencer pads are actually the exact same, which kind of leads me to believe that Titan, the king of replicator, may have ripped off the AbMat design. The AbMat ones are $250. You do have to pay shipping on top of that, but there are coupon codes for AbMat that float around pretty often. You probably get a higher value item. Now, I haven't actually used the AbMat ones, but I have used other AbMat products. And after using those other AbMat products, I really would be curious to see what the big difference is. Additionally, the AbMat ones are a more conservative black color. You can oftentimes get them customized with your gym logo if you just reach out to AbMat, which is a nice thing. You do have to pay extra for that kind of service, but if you're getting a set of these for your garage gym or your commercial gym, that could be a nice thing that you do that Titan doesn't offer. I do have that link down below, and if you follow that link, it will help support my channel. That is an affiliate style link. Another one that I want to bring up are the PRX brand crash pads. Now, the reasons that I want to bring up the PRX brand is because when I was shopping for a set of crash pads, I was looking at either the Titan ones, the AbMat ones, or the PRX. The PRX ones are $220. You do still have to pay shipping on top of that, but it is a larger pad where this is only 30 inches. The PRX one is an additional 10, making it 40 total inches by 24-inch height. It's still that 6-inch thick pad, and I'm sure that it's filled with the exact same Rebond foam based on the weight. Now, I do think that having the larger surface would be nice, but I also don't think it's a necessity. But if you consider the fact that you're getting bigger pads for only $20 extra, that may be something that's more attractive to you. If you use these pads to act as ramps for stones, that might be of benefit as well. Another attractive thing about the 40 inches wide is that being 40 inches wide, it will still fit inside of most standard power racks. So last, I want to leave you guys with my opinions, and I have to say this. When I first saw a set of these, they weren't actually mine, they were somebody else's, and I actually marveled at how nicely they were constructed. I'm usually very critical of Titan Fitness products, but it seems like lately, every single thing that I get from them impresses me, which is amazing. That's great. Do I recommend these crash pads? You know what? I really got to say that I do. They're a great price. They have really stood up to the durability that I've seen here. Additionally, when I was at Clash on the Coast in April of this year, I think it was April, I watched some of the strongest 105 kg strongmen abuse the living hell out of these things, to include Bobby Thompson, who is not a 105 kg strongman, but still, watched him do that log press, and it came down onto a set of these. And I really got to give credit where credit's due. These things are awesome. They really are. They are the cheapest that's really offered. There are some other ones on Amazon, and I would caution you from purchasing any of those Amazon ones, because if you look at the weight of them, they weigh like 4 or 5 pounds. So I have a feeling that they're full of some sort of super squishy foam that is not really effectively going to absorb the impact of anything that you drop on it. So highly do not recommend those Amazon ones. Bottom line, The Titan ones are nice. Please check them out using the link down below. That's been it for this review on the Titan silencer crash pads. I appreciate you guys that have watched all the way to here. And remember, when it comes to your garage gym training, you should always make it better, awesome, and of course, badass. I'll see you guys next time.